Hello everyone. Today, we are going to be discussing a question from Typical PT's platform. Let's jump right in. All right, here's the question. A 78-year-old woman is 10 days post-cemented total hip arthroplasty via a transgluteal approach, also known as a trochanteric osteotomy. Which of the following statements accurately describes the post-operative range of motion precautions she should follow during her early recovery period? Let's read through the answer choices. A. Allow weight bearing as tolerated during all activities of daily living and perform hip adduction exercises to maintain range of motion. B. Avoid hip flexion greater than 90 degrees, hip adduction past neutral, and internal rotation beyond neutral. C. Avoid hip adduction past neutral and active anti-gravity hip abduction for at least 6 to 8 weeks or until approved by the surgeon. D. Avoid hip adduction and the combined motion of hip flexion, abduction, and external rotation. Go ahead and pause the video right now, think through the logic, and lock in your answer. When you are ready, hit play again to see the solution. Welcome back. The correct answer is choice C. Avoid hip adduction past neutral and active anti-gravity hip abduction for at least 6 to 8 weeks or until approved by the surgeon. Before we break down the explanation, I want to mention that the infographic shown here is from the Physical Therapy Essentials book from Typical PT. You can find this diagram and other helpful resources inside that book. Now let's talk about why choice C is correct. This option accurately reflects the precautions specific to a transgluteal approach following a cemented total hip arthroplasty. The key precautions highlighted are avoiding hip adduction past neutral and avoiding active anti-gravity hip abduction for approximately 6 to 8 weeks, or until the surgeon provides clearance. These restrictions are in place to protect the surgical site and allow proper healing of the structures affected during the transgluteal approach. Now let's walk through the diagram shown on the screen. The infographic compares cemented versus cementless hip arthroplasty and outlines post-operative precautions based on the surgical approach. Under the transgluteal approach, the diagram clearly lists precautions such as avoiding hip adduction past neutral, no active gravity eliminated, or anti-gravity hip abduction for 6 to 8 weeks, avoiding crossing the legs, and using an abduction pillow when sleeping in supine. This visual reinforces exactly why choice C is the best answer. Now let's explain why the other options are incorrect. Choice A. Allow weight bearing as tolerated during all activities of daily living and perform hip adduction exercises to maintain range of motion is incorrect because it suggests allowing weight bearing as tolerated during all activities and performing hip adduction exercises. This directly contradicts the precautions for the transgluteal approach, where hip adduction past neutral and certain strengthening activities must be avoided during early recovery. Choice B. Avoid hip flexion greater than 90 degrees, hip adduction past neutral, and internal rotation beyond neutral is incorrect, because these precautions are more consistent with posterior or posterolateral approaches, not the transgluteal approach. The primary concern for a transgluteal approach is protecting against excessive adduction and active abduction, not limiting hip flexion or internal rotation in this way. Choice D. Avoid hip adduction and the combined motion of hip flexion, abduction, and external rotation is incorrect, because although avoiding hip adduction is appropriate, this option incorrectly includes restrictions on combined hip flexion, abduction, and external rotation. Those combined motion precautions are more relevant to other surgical approaches and do not accurately reflect the specific precautions associated with the transgluteal approach. Now that you've completed this case, take a moment to record the key points in your Typical PT digital notebook. Use it to organize what you've learned and reinforce how to apply core integumentary concepts when evaluating and managing musculoskeletal-related conditions. Thanks for watching today's question of the day. We're dropping new NPTE prep content every single day to help you pass with confidence. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at typicalpt for daily study tips, quick reviews, and motivation to keep you going.